Like if the Chargers look like they're ready to be a Super Bowl team, and they kind of like go a little further in the playoffs, and
That means
they're ready to go, maybe.
That to me means Tom Telesco's out, and obviously Brandon
yeah,
Staley's
for
out.
sure. Like,
But
he
and that
will need
means
total
that,
control.
and that means that the Spanos family would have to do something that they've never done, which is give a coach full control, which would be interesting. Because I mean, I've seen his name. Obviously, I saw, but obviously, nothing's happened yet. But it's just like it's the same rumors as Sean Payton last year circulating. Rumors. But I've seen Jim Harbaugh's name also, which I'm like, another one you have to give full control to.
Tired of Jim Harbaugh, but go ahead, Victor.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I'm gonna start off with Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, and Mike Tomlin. It seems like everybody wants to get rid of these coaches and like forget about all the things that they've done for those franchises. Whether it's been Bill Belichick, 20 years of success with the Patriots, it's like, okay, we're done with you. You need to go away. Same thing with Andy Reid has been better, but nobody talks about him. And then Mike Tomlin, same thing. It's like I saw something on the Pat McAfee show where somebody was talking about all how bad he's been in playoff games and how he beat all these terrible quarterbacks, and he only won a Super Bowl because in his first or second year with players from Bill Cowher. Like none of these coaches get the respect that they deserve for some reason. And then you see it. I see it a lot with the new coaches like Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. I understand they're innovative and they're great, but they still haven't won Super Bowl. Outside of Sean McVay, he's only won one Super Bowl, and yet we're who says it on here? Who says we crown them? We're crowning them before they even do anything, and that's Dan and Daygo. He's right. And then the other thing that I was going to talk about was, if you are going to fight, if you are going to let go of Bill Belichick, the right spot is with the Chargers. You know what you can get out of him. He's really good at turning good teams and being the key to be able to coach a team that's ready to go. As you can see with what he has in New England, that was him who made the Mac Jones, he made, but at the same time, if you look at their draft history, they've done really well. Like they got Jimmy Garoppolo, they got Tom Brady. They've been able to get quarterbacks. It's just with Mac Jones, it didn't work out, and it happens sometimes. But if you get the right talent and if he comes here to LA and they give him the keys, you're in a good position. But as you guys talked about, I just don't see the Spanos being able to do that. But I really would, if that ends up happening where the Chargers move on from Brandon Staley, he would be the perfect guy for that.
He would faint.
Tell him.
But you know what else he does too? He takes your scraps, players that nobody liked, and he turns them into good play. I mean, Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy was a guy that out of Detroit didn't want him anymore. The Patriots are like, we'll take him, boom, and then they turn him into a star. They've done that.
You guys are talking about the past. It's been 3 years. Like, what has he done? Like, can you name a star player on offense that he's gotten and groomed? Like, there's nobody offensively on that team.
Aaron Hernandez.
I'm talking about the last 3 years. He has not developed anybody. He's not chosen somebody properly on offense.
That's why
he's lost it a little bit. Like he's
what Vic is saying. Well, that's because you don't have a general like Tom Brady to say, "Hey guys, look, I'm taking a pay cut.
Like Brady matters."
Well, that's
what Vic is saying. He's like, if he comes to the Chargers, they're already ready to go. They just need somebody who's going to be a hard ass. He's going to do this, and he's going to be like, look, let's go out there, let's bust our asses, and we can win a Super Bowl. We just need you guys to here. You're not asking them to come in and be like, okay, we need you to draft really well. We need you to sign great free agents. No, the Chargers basically have their core there. It's just him coming in. That's what I understand from what Vic is saying. Like the Commanders,
what have you seen from offensively from the coaches? Bill O'Brien's supposed to save his offense. You've seen nothing, and I'm like, all his decisions in the last 3 years are very concerning. And for just to say, oh, he got 6 Super Bowls, he's going to fix the Chargers. I just don't see it. And the Commanders, like you said,
I think
a whole different story.
He's taken the two teams that we're talking about, or that I said, and he's just pointing out that he would rather, like, if he was him, he would go to the Chargers because they have the quarterback. They have, like, Bill Belichick with that defensive core that the Chargers have. I feel like he could do a lot more with those weapons, with the defensive weapons. But I agree with what you're saying. And that's been my message these last 3 years too, is that on the offensive, because he started off as an offensive guy. He was an offensive line coach, worked his way up, and then he switched over to defense. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying from what Vic is saying, that's what he's saying, is that from the two teams, the Chargers seem like they're already ready kind of to rock.
And
I get it, but
let me add one more thing, Gilbert, before you make your point. And I'll say this, is that part of the problem with Bill Belichick the last 3 years is that he still believes that he's trying to run the team like if though he had Tom Brady, and that doesn't work. That's part of the problem. Now, think of what Phil Jackson did with the Chicago Bulls, and then what he did with the Lakers. Now, how you put Phil Jackson with the rebuilding team, which is what you have right now with Bill Belichick, it wasn't going to work. He's a ready-made coach. You put him in with players that are ready to win. That's the missing key. Remember, those Lakers teams were waiting for that coach like Phil Jackson. This is what the Chargers would be getting. They would in Bill Belichick, but that's just my opinion, Gilbert.
I just don't like. Obviously, we're talking about like a what if in a situation. You're picking between two teams, definitely not the Commanders, because I am very concerned with Bill Belichick's eye for drafting now and developing talent offensively. Defense, he has it down, but Matthew Judon was a free agent signing. He has a couple other guys there. Christian Gonzalez was great, but like he's just not enough talent. Like I don't know, like I think Fernando, you said like he's still stuck in his way with the Brady thing. Like when you have Brady, a lot of that works. And I get it. If you go to the Chargers, you have a Herbert that makes your life easier. But like who's gonna be your OC? Who's gonna call offense here? And I'm like, I don't trust that. But I know we're playing the what if games. But I just feel like if he chooses. Again, it sounds dumb. If you're choosing the Chargers, it's not a lock. I don't see like, oh, last piece, here we go. I just don't see from what I've seen offensively the last couple of years. Because, and one more thing, this is off topic. I'm so annoyed. Whoever said on ESPN that Mac Jones, you put on with the 49ers, he would do just as good as Brock Purdy. Get out of here. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I can't believe the blasphemy, honestly. You're just ignoring 20 years of dominance. Like that's the craziest part to me. Like we have two professional blasphemers over here. It's like I just don't understand what more you want from this guy. Like he embarrassed the league for 20 years where the AFC Championship had his ugly mug up there, or it was like either literally Peyton, Roethlisberger, and that's about it. I can't remember who was the other ones. It's quite frankly, it's a joke to me. You know, I still think Bill Belichick. Man.
I love the history, but it's not right now.
What are you talking about right now? The hardest thing to do, right? You know, I'm not going to say they're the most important, but the hardest thing to move on from is a quarterback like a Brady, because he loses that locker room guy, right? Especially offensively. Now, I've said it on this program before, so don't act like I'm flip-flopping. I thought it was a terrible mistake to make Patricia the OC. I still think, honestly, it was a little bit bad idea to get Bill O'Brien as the OC, but I understand because he has the connection with Mac Jones, because I think he was at Bama at the same time with him. Yep. And supposedly Mac
I think the 1 year with Matt Patricia screwed
That's what it was
completely.
That's what it is.
I truly believe that.
I think, I mean, again, to everyone listening, clearly I'm not in Foxborough, so I have no idea. But I think that 1 year with Patricia, especially Patricia, I'm sure is a hard coach to be under and everything else. But I'm sure that really soiled the relationship between him and Bill. Because you look at Mac Jones and he looks so apathetic. Like he'll throw a pick and he just, all right, going back to the sideline, this, that, and that.
Well, it's not that.
I think they need a split.
It's not just that.
They need
a split. It's not just that. It's also Matt Patricia. If Mac Jones probably was wondering to himself, that's the greatest head coach of all time, and he put this guy to be my offensive coordinator. Like, he could have easily been off. Like Nick Saban talked about him. Like, nah, this is BS, and I'm sure that's kind of the disconnect there.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the biggest mistake he made a little bit besides Patricia, it's like he should have tried to find maybe a little bit of a younger guy to kind of come in with Mac Jones. That way it's not kind of like two old heads just going at it and everything else with him. And the other thing is, I personally thought Mac Jones in his rookie year looked very solid. It was Josh McDaniels. I thought, and Josh McDaniels isn't that much older or isn't like super on the older side. I think he's in his 40s or whatever, which isn't too far. But I thought he looked solid in his rookie year. I think really what screwed him was just him getting the head coaching job over there. Maybe Bill Belichick needs a little bit of an ego check too, because we talked about this. Taking a historic DC, and just saying, hey, whatever, I'm the GOAT, dude. You're gonna be the OC now. It's not an easy thing. So hopefully, this little humbling experience will feed him for the long run. Because you forget one thing, dude. Right now, I'm sure in his office, he has everything posted of what stooges like you were saying, that he's washed, he's gone, this and that and that. Especially, I'm sure he has the breakup text in there somewhere. His villain arc is coming. I don't think he's done yet.
Going to McDonald's. He doesn't care about what we're saying here.
How dare you?
I can't wait for 2024. Bill Belichick hires Josh McDaniels as his OC for the Chargers.